First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I know that this has been an ongoing case and to the citizens of the community, an important case. We've prepared a quick press release, and I'll read that to you. Since November 7, 2012, the Rexburg Police Department has been actively engaged in an ongoing investigation into a serial bank robber dubbed the AK-47 Bandit, who on the same date robbed the East Idaho Credit Union here in Rexburg. Since that time, the Rexburg Police Department has been involved in a joint investigation with several other law enforcement agencies, which include the Chino, California Police Department and the FBI. On June 22, 2017, the Rexburg Police Department received information that a possible suspect was in custody in Nebraska. We received information that on June 20th of 2017, a Kansas state trooper attempted to stop a vehicle that was being driven by a Richard Lee Gathercole. At that point, the suspect led the trooper in the vehicle pursuit while shooting at the trooper from inside the vehicle. At one point in the pursuit, the suspect pulled over, exited his vehicle, and continued shooting at the trooper. The trooper then exchanged gunfire with the suspect. The suspect then re-entered his vehicle and was able to elude the trooper. A short time later, a farmer in the area reported to police that his vehicle had been carjacked, and he advised the person who stole the vehicle had a handgun. After stealing the pickup, the suspect left the area, and the victim reported the carjacking to authorities. The suspect was later arrested by the Lexington Police Department and identified as Richard Lee Gathercole, or Gathercole. Gathercole had pulled into a convenience store, and the officers were able to make the arrest without incident. It was later found that the vehicle Gathercole used to elude the Kansas trooper, a black Toyota Camry, had crashed into a ditch. After a search of the vehicle was conducted, several items of interest were located in the vehicle, including an AK-47 with a drum magazine, a bulletproof vest, mask, and gloves. The AK-47 was a weapon of interest, with officers investigating the series of bank robberies that we believe the AK-47 Bandit had committed. A subsequent investigation found that Gathercole's residence was in Roundup, Montana, located about an hour outside of Billings, Montana. Investigators from the Rexburg Police Department, Chino, California Police Department, and agents from the FBI met in Roundup on June 24th, where a search warrant was obtained and executed at Gathercole's residence. During the search, there were several pieces of evidence that we believe directly implicates Gathercole into a series of bank robberies, including the one here in Rexburg. Located inside the residence were items that we believe matched items seen on surveillance video from the series of bank robberies. Those items have been seized and are in custody of the FBI's evidence collection team. Also, inside the residence were located several homemade bombs that were removed from the residence by the Billings Bomb Squad and later detonated. The Rexburg Police Department would like to thank those agencies involved and for their assistance in hopefully bringing this to a conclusion. That's probably it for our statement. Does anybody have any questions?
So what types of items specifically did you find in the home besides the bombs?
So I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because it's still under investigation, but there were items that were seen in the surveillance videos. I can tell you that one particular item was a green mesh vest that had the word sheriff on it and a couple of badges. That was located in there, and that was, we believe, was used in one of the bank robberies that the suspect wanted at the time of the robbery.
Has this guy said anything indicating wanting to do more robberies, or? At
the time of his arrest, he asked for his attorney, so officers have not been able to question him as of yet. But hopefully that'll change, and we can, down the road, get some time to meet with him and get some questions answered. So.
Now, since the robbery in 2012 up until this point, what types of investigation have you guys been doing?
So, what we've done is every time there's been another bank robbery, we've kind of had our team put together to travel to other jurisdictions. So we had a bank robbery after the Rexburg one that we've been involved in. We had a bank robbery in Nebraska City, Nebraska. We also had one in Mason, Iowa. So we'd respond out there. We would, along with the other officers, Chino Police Department, the FBI, we'd respond out there and we would, because we were familiar with the AK-47 and how he was doing things, we'd respond out there to give them a hand and help them in their investigation of their bank robbery.
In the shooting in Nebraska, was he using the AK-47 to shoot the officer?
The shooting in Kansas?
Kansas,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if he was using either the handgun he later attempted to, or hijacked the pickup with, or if he was using the assault rifle. I believe he was using the assault rifle, but I couldn't tell you for absolute positive which gun he was shooting out the window.
How much money did he take from the bank here in Rexburg?
You know, at this time, we can't really still release that amount of money that was stolen from the bank because of investigation purposes still. So maybe at a later date we can do that number. But
Because there's so many jurisdictions involved, do you think he'll be extradited locally, or how would that?
okay. So obviously, he's got several charges from several different states. At this time, we don't really know exactly until we meet with everybody and meet with the federal prosecutors, decide who's going to prosecute him and what charges. I foresee probably him being charged federally, and that way they don't have to take in all the different counties, or excuse me, states, but each state could have charges pending on it too.
I know Chino, they've got the attempted murder of an officer charge they probably wanted to.
Yes, back when the Chino Police Department was the first bank that we know that he robbed, and in the course of that bank robbery, he shot and did shoot a Chino police officer. And I'm glad to report today that officer's back on duty after quite a bit of time off. But he's back on duty, he's doing well. So we're very lucky there. We're also very lucky in Kansas, where we'd always feared that the way that this individual would be caught would be in that the patrol officer who was out on the road stopping this car, not knowing who he was stopping, and all of a sudden we end up in a gunfight, which happened. It was always a fear of ours. We are lucky and very thankful that the trooper wasn't hurt, nobody else was hurt.
What does this mean to Rexburg Police Department that the suspect's caught?
It means it gives a little peace of mind to the victims inside the bank. You know, it was a takeover type style bank robbery. It was traumatic, and it gives them a little bit of closure on this. It also closes our investigation in it, and I hope it lets people know that if we get robbed, if any of our banks get robbed here, we'll pursue however long it takes. So
Was anyone injured here during the Rexburg robbery?
nobody was injured.
Did he fire any guns from that robbery?
No, he did not.
So I was told that it was originally that he had military or police background, is that true?
That's still being investigated. So I would hate to comment on that without knowing the specifics. Anybody else got any questions?
Are there any other bank robberies you're still investigating?
Actually, since I've been to Rexburg Police Department, we have solved all of our bank robberies now. I do know that years back, and I can't even tell you exactly how far back, they did have a bank robbery. But as far as, since I've been here for the last 25 years, we've solved all of our bank robberies.
How did the department feel knowing that the suspect who accused of robbing this bank here in Rexburg was caught? What went through you guys' mind knowing that?
Oh, we were ecstatic. I mean, we were walking around, high-fiving each other. I mean, this is a big deal to us. So the officers involved, because of the victims involved, the time that we put into this, it's pretty labor-intensive. It's pretty expensive, and so we were ecstatic to find out we might have a possible suspect in custody. Then after this last weekend, going to Montana and being involved in that investigation, and believing that he is our suspect in our bank robbery, we can be more pleased.
Are there any other robberies that they think he might be a part of besides the 5 that have been identified?
None that we know of now. Can't exclude any others just yet, but he tend to have a certain way of doing it, carrying a certain type of gun, driving a certain type of cars, and as we've done this investigation, we haven't found any more. So I don't believe so. I don't think there are any more outstanding ones that we're not aware of, but who knows? Who knows? So, anybody else?
Having that gun in his car, then, do officers think he was about to rob another bank?
And again, it's hard saying because you can't talk to him. But personally, I think that is a very good possibility that he was headed to somewhere in Kansas and he was going to do another bank robbery.
Any idea why he was in Kansas so far from Montana?
Again, I think he was headed somewhere to do a bank robbery, or could have been, but we don't know. We don't know if he was going to, whether it was going to be in Kansas or another location. We don't know.
Has his mother cooperated at all? I know he spoke to her Dell and told her some things.
She has met with investigators and she's being cooperative.